It's away from 10.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
So I'm very chuffed this end of the show on a Friday to be welcoming another musician into the Kiwi studio. It's always great to look forward to the weekend with some live music. Today it's Stevie Starr with us in the Kiwi studio. The Kiwi album of the week just the other week with the album called We Hope in All Things New. Stevie Starr, good morning.
Good morning, nice to be here.
Yeah, good to have you along. Now, have you just been on a wee bit of a jaunt around the country?
Yep, we've been up here to be interviewed by Juice TV and some other people from New Zealand Musician Magazine, but we've also come up here to see you, of course.
Yeah, which is really lovely.
We'd like to say that we'd like to meet you the most, obviously.
Oh, I'm sure it's actually the case.
Yeah.
So, but have you been playing live along the way, or is this a bit more of a?
Yeah, I've been playing quite a few gigs in the back seat of the car. I've been, playing a few songs. We took a break in the hot pools in Rotorua, and then I took a little song on the banks of the Rotorua River. But we haven't been playing any formal gigs as such. We're just up here to just really talk to people and kind of spread the gospel, really.
Yeah, the gospel of the CD.
That's possibly the gospel I'm talking about. Yeah.
So, who's your influences? What are you listening to from overseas?
I like to describe my music as Arvo Pärt with leather pants on. Arvo Pärt is my biggest influence. He's an Estonian composer, and his music truly changed my life.
Yeah.
Other people as well, there's all this kind of living legends like Woody Guthrie and poets as well. I mean, Charles Bukowski is one of my heroes. In a New Zealand perspective, Howard Morrison's a great man as well, and, at least we forget about him. Also, James K. Baxter and other people like that. And everyone you meet really in life influences you in some way or the other. Everyone, your family, people on the streets and stuff like that. My songs, a lot of them are about real people I've met and, putting their songs and their lives into song.
It's listening to the CD. It's a really dense CD, orchestrally. And musically, it's really thick. I suppose it would be one way of saying it. Thick. There's so much going on in there. How was it to put together the music itself? And was it quite a task to get so many people involved?
It was a bit of an effort, to be honest, with the CD. One way in which I approached it is just making a tune-up mostly on my guitar and then just adding layers as I kind of felt like the song needed to go in a different direction. And sometimes, music is like a horse, Sometimes it's like a stallion bolting, and other times it's like glue stick, an old dumpy horse. You don't really know which way it's going to turn, and sometimes when you hear a track, you make a song up and it can take 2 hours in the studio and there's an emotion and a feeling to it. Other times you can spend like 2 months on it, still not hitting you with that emotion. So sometimes you need to add things to it. It's like cooking a meal or something like that, You make a pasta dish, does it need too much basil or salt or pepper or, in many ways it's like that with music, and it's a very impossible thing to really get your head around. Even as a musician, you feel like you're really just, serving something else.
It's a very mature album, I suppose you could say as well. But you're a young man.
Well, I like to think that I'm a young man, but I like to I don't know. Like sometimes I've always been kind of a person that's kind of a serious person, I guess. And as a young teenager, I really wrote a lot of poetry and was interested in poetry. I mean, this is when everyone's out getting wasted and stuff like that.
Did you get bullied at school?
I was a bit of a nerd. I got to be honest. I was a bit of a freak child. I used to hang out in the music studios with the guys there. And because I wandered around. Didn't really fit in so much. Yeah, so now I'm making up for my later life, I guess.
Do you sing about those experiences? Are you getting your own back?
I think Tom York's covered those topics in many detail, so I don't really want to cover his ground.
So what do you sing about? I mean, you talked about this, the people you meet, but is there love in there? What else?
Yeah, there's a lot of love, but mostly there's hope because, got to be honest with you, the real album started because I went over to Germany to see this girl I loved and didn't really work out for me so much. So I just
Never does, bro.
Well, sometimes it does, and if anyone out there is listening and has a good loving relationship, good on you.
But not not the whole chasing someone overseas.
Well,
I've never met
you've
anyone.
done it as well. We're both romantics here on the radio. We should have a real heart to heart. And you have done it, yeah. Where did you go for yours?
Yeah, I went to Australia once.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, my girl was in Germany, and I went over there, and it didn't really work out. So I kind of did a kind of random, a kind of bewildering tour of Western Europe as a way of kind of getting past it. And, as a result of that, I kind of lost a bit of hope, and I was a bit down, and I came back to New Zealand, and I thought to myself, hey, I really do need some hope. I don't really have any, and I thought, so I kind of read a lot of things about hope. I got out every book in the library about hope, and I was focused on that, and I tried to make a record which sounded like hope. I was obsessed with the idea of hope, and also just putting that into music. And
it wasn't because Obama mentioned hope that many times.
Actually,
last year.
I think Obama was listening to the record, and I think a lot of people say that to me a lot in the streets. They say, "Oh, Barack Obama, you stole your stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm a humble guy, so I won't make a deal of it.
Do you busk quite a bit?
I used to busk. I busked in Leicester Square in England for. I quit my job. I met an electronic cellist at the time. His name was Pablo Cloud, and we busked out in the streets. We quit our jobs and we decided to. I mean, it's hard living over in England. It was rather stupid to do it, to be honest, because we only made about £15 a day. But one day we made $100 in 1 hour because this wealthy American tycoon came along and gave us money. So we went straight to the bar and and wasted it all pretty much on, pints of lager. But, busking is fun, but traveling and hitchhiking with a guitar is a better way of meeting people. And I've just recently, summer, I traveled around all of the North Island with my guitar, my humble travel guitar, and met people and went up to Waitangi, and I discovered a lot of the local people, the marae, and I was welcomed onto the marae, and I stayed with some local people there and learned about their stories, and I like to put that into music,
Cool. Well, you've brought in the guitar this morning, and I don't think Kiwi listeners have heard sort of the song stripped down, so it'd be really nice to...
Well, I'm not actually really going to play any songs from the record today. I've got a special song for the people of Auckland, and this song was written as a response to some of the situations happening in Auckland at the moment with Rodney Hyde and with what's happening in Auckland town. And I was up there for Waitangi and spoke to some of the people about the issues. And when you like a white Pākehā from me, like me, that comes from Tawa, a white middle class area, it's quite hard to get a grasping on what's happening with the local people. But you need to go and when you live with them, when you kind of hang out with them, you kind of understand why it was a big deal in 1840 and what really happened. And so this is my response to that. And also, I was watching Māori TV and saw Rodney Hyde debating with these people, and it kind of got me thinking. So I wrote this song as a response. So we play this at our gigs, and I'd like to play this for this is a song dedicated to Rodney Hyde and his friends. And I'd like them, if they're listening, to turn the dial to 11, please.
Could this be the protest song for the new generation of Aucklanders who want to fight what's going on?
It could be, yeah. We don't want to incite violence on the streets with this one or anything, but...
Brilliant. Stevie Starr live in the Kiwi studio.
My name is Tunga Tawhenua. I brought along my book. I showed you the first chapter. But you didn't take a look. So I read it to you slowly. You thought that I was funny, and when I showed you its cover, it read the Treaty of Waitangi. Oh, Auckland
How can you dance around without songs for your movements? My name is Rodney Hyde. I don't believe we've met. I speak in the first person, 'cause it's the first person I represent. Oh, Auckland town, how can you dance around without songs for your movements?
Wow, Stevie Starr.